Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's a Tuesday because it's a holiday weekend. September the 3rd. I should have said see you next month when we wrapped up the show on Friday. Me, Victor, and Mark, I think we went 2-1 with our college football, capped off by a big plus 155 winner Sunday with USC for you out there, fans. And I believe that is 4-2 in the live show Football Fridays. And me, Ross and Chipper, Ross, Doug, and Chip. What do we go? 10-2 run last week. We were undefeated. Going back to the week before that as well. Winners keep coming. Chip, we're doing pretty well here. And speaking of doing pretty well, you can do pretty well, folks, because we have won the 249 baseball special for the rest of the month and a half, whatever's left in baseball. Early bird, it's still up. $5.99, go get it. Get that early bird package. Now, you love the free pick kind of stuff, so please hit the like button here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Me, Chipper, we're on the Twitter X world. Come give us a follow there. We tweet out things sometimes. And also, free pick winners are great. How about some free money? Get in our football contest. It's in the description. It's tweeted out on the Twitterland accounts, X, whatever you want to call it. On the home pages, it's a progressive pick'em. It's 2 contests in one. A weekly contest where you play with the most points for the week. You get a perfect prize. You go undefeated. 15-0, 6-0, whatever. Maybe it's a bye week. You win money. Please get on board. The instructions, they're deep. It's deep. You really want me to spend 5 minutes reading this? Of course not. But it's free money. Sign up. Sign up. If you're hitting the like button, as our old buddy would say, take it one step further. Go to the webpage, enter in, chance to win $1,000. I don't know. I want $1,000. What about you, Chip? Would you go for $1,000? Would that be something you'd be interested in? A little $1,000.
It'll take care of me. It'll take care of me until lunch, I'm sure.
Until lunch. Where are you going to? Barry's Prime? Or are you going to the Corral? What is that place where they have that giant like lobster meal and a crazy steak that comes out in a suitcase?
I would probably go to Joe's Stone Crab first.
I've never been to a Joe's Stone Crab. Well, we were talking off air about my 6-year-old eating habits, and not that I like dinosaur nuggets, stuff like that, but as a Italian guy, I don't like red sauce. I'm not a red sauce guy. I like, my wife
gravy.
She puts it in the sausage in there. I like sausage more than I like meatballs, although I like the ground beef, the meatball seasoned. I do like that. She does a fabulous job. My wife can cook. But I'll take the sausage out of the gravy, your sauce, whatever you want to call it, depending on what Italian you are. You know where it goes? I turn the sink on, wash it off, dry it off with a paper towel, goes on a roll. Some grated cheese, little shaved cheese. I'm a simple caveman. I don't like to get messy. I don't just put on bread. I like my bread, my rolls, whatever. Bagels, Jersey bagels. Anyway, all right, we could go off on a tangent talking food because this guy wants to eat stone cold crab, and I'm just looking for a turkey cheese mayonnaise sandwich on some rye bread. But listen, we're going to talk about 2 Friday college football games, but let's talk about what we've seen the last couple of days. And, of course, we do have – I don't know, apparently there's a Thursday night NFL game. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in that one. And that is not on the agenda this week because it's a lone Thursday game. I figure it's better to talk about it. And let's be honest, I'm sure we were going to have a pick on it. I know I got a best bet up in that game. You can go get at gamblersWORLD.net for premium stuff. But we see Florida State wet the bed again. And apparently one of their fans said he was going to eat dog poop out of a cup with a spoon. The guy deleted every social media account he has. And they're trying to hunt him down. They say he's the jinx of Florida State. They got a problem. But is this really a shocker to people when you bring in – I said about DJU, the guy's on his 3rd team in 3 years. You lost a lot of talent off last year's squad. Quarterback was pretty good. On top of that, everybody else compounding, leaving. You're now 0-2. You were a 21-point fave. It drops down to, 15, 16, 17, losing outright by double digits. So let's start right there and kind of work our way back. What did you think about Florida State and their – we got a chip on our shoulders this year, people. We're going to do something after last year's snub. You might not even make the playoffs this year.
I think as long as they have that quarterback, they have no chance.
There it is. Right? If you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. I totally agree. And that's where it starts in whether it's college football or NFL. You got quarterback problems. You're not going to.
He was terrible at Clemson. Last year, he was nothing at Oregon State. I mean, they had a pretty good team, but they ran the ball down everybody's throat. And I just probably end up being a great pro, but I don't see it.
Oh, great! I don't think he's. I think he won't be started by the end of the year. Where's he getting drafted in the 5th round, 6th round?
You know, they draft everybody. I mean, there are people. Look at this Tommy DeVito. He failed at Illinois. He failed at Syracuse, but he's on a roster.
All right, you mentioned Tommy DeVito, and I want to go to the Sunday night game with LSU and USC, but let's go to Notre Dame because DeVito's agent, when he's on the sidelines, looks like a little leprechaun guy himself with his little outfit on. I was shocked. I'm not shocked at the under. I had the under in that game. I like the under. The line flip-flopped there. Notre Dame fave. We get A&M going off at 3-point fave. A&M quarterback woes continue. I was kind of shocked. I liked A&M. I said, you know what, at 3, I don't even hate it too much there with them as a fave. I figured Elko knew Riley's weak spots. You know, I'm going to give him a little edge over the quarterback there, rebuilt offensive line stuff. But Notre Dame, big win for them. A&M's still a tough place to play. Defense is still there. I think they're still going to be kind of tough, a tough out A&M. I'm not bad game 1, but what do you think? Is Notre Dame for real?
I don't know if it's
a fake team.
I don't know if it's a bad game for them or they're just that bad. I mean, it always seems the same with A&M. They seem to have strong teams, but when they play the big games, they can't get over the hump. They might cover in a loss to Alabama, but they just don't seem to be a top 10 team to be year in and year out. It's always the hype, 12th man, and they fall short. They got a new coach, though. New coach, I'm going to, obviously they're not undefeated, right? They just took a loss. But I think they'll be improved with Elko under Jimbo. I mean, they got talent there. Let's see what this guy can do. He won 9 games at Duke. He won 8 games at Duke. Let's see what he does here. I mean, this A&M schedule is probably a little tougher than the Duke schedule. But you know what I'm saying? We'll see how it goes. I mean, bad loss. They were leading that game. Maybe shouldn't have lost. We'll see what happens down the road with them. Another marquee game. We had the Miami at the Gators. Miami looks, that kind of a route. They look pretty good because we saw Clemson get destroyed by Georgia. Georgia just pulls away what they usually do. Is Miami the class of the ACC, the flavor of the week after 1 week? You'd have to think so. Destroy Florida, although Florida's a 4.5 win team, right? That's what they were projected to win. Miami's 9.5. A lot of hype on them with their quarterback transferred. Their $5 million quarterback, no guy. Where did he come from? Where did he come from?
He was the Oregon State guy, wasn't he? Or Washington State? Oregon State, right? Oregon State. Cam Ward.
Maybe Washington.
They got him and a running back. They're both from out there.
There was a little dissension down there in Miami because of how much money that kid's getting, and other players are feeling like they're not getting their share.
Listen, it's a quarterback.
College level we're talking about.
Everything's about the QB. You need a quarterback, and you know what? The kid delivered in week 1 there. LSU, USC, nice little barn burner there. Listen, Lincoln Riley does wonders with quarterbacks. I liked USC because of him and both teams breaking into quarterbacks. I saw this quarterback throw 40 touchdown passes in a bowl game after Caleb Williams hits the bench. Yeah. I mean, I knew he threw like 5 or 6, whatever.
Right.
My thought was like, you know what? I got 2 coaches. One guy's a quarterback whisperer. The other guy is a fake Cajun accent guy. Kelly with his whole act. But it got there. It wasn't easy. Am I a believer USC to battle for a Big Ten title? I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see. I'll tell you what, the defense looked all right. But again, how much is that on LSU breaking in a new QB themselves? What do you think about LSU and SC?
If there wasn't that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, 15-yarder, they might still be playing. But, USC, I think, I mean, I had them as my big play, but can they play defense? We'll see down the line. I mean, LSU lost a lot too. And their quarterback was spectacular last year, and their top receiver was great. And they both went in the first round. So we'll see what happens this year with the Tigers.
So we have tomorrow. It'll be me and you. I'm so confused with days because it's Tuesday, but I'm thinking it's Monday, and I'm like,
Where's Doug today? Me and you tomorrow. Doug will be with us on Thursday. But Thursday night, we have a NFL opening day between the Ravens and the Chiefs. I know I got a best bet up for that game. You can find it at gamblersworld.net. 3 7:30 packages, all guaranteed. We show you a profit or you're credited back and you come at it again. And let's be honest, this game. You got a Super Bowl team, back-to-back champs. Super Bowl champs, I believe, have won 8 of the last 10. The next season opening up, hanging the banners. This is a team that got through the Ravens in the championship game to win that other Super Bowl. You got Mahomes at home. You got Andy Reid. Everything's pointing to them. I mean, I don't want – if you got something – I mean, we have something special going on, and then we'll work into your BYU SMU game. But how's the weekend been? How have you been? Anything for Thursday upcoming you want to talk about before we get into the 2 Friday night games?
I'll always have a play on the standalone games. And my question about that game is the true status of Lamar Jackson. I mean, you have to know where – he hasn't seen too much action so far. I imagine he's going to be playing. But I'm very, let's say, apprehensive as to how much time he's going to get throughout the entire season. I know the Ravens are one of the favorites in the AFC as usual, but like you said, back to back. I don't know if it can happen 3 years in a row.
Rarefied air for sure if they get back. Even just getting back to the Super Bowl. I mean, Dallas went back-to-back, and then they lost to the Niners that third year with Switzer running the show. And I remember that game. It was kind of a close game, and then there was a touchdown, and then Switzer had, walked on to, argue something about a penalty, and then there was, another pass interference. It went totally off the rails after that.
Yeah.
But, listen, it is tough winning 1, winning 2 high.
Come on.
Let's be honest. This is as good as – I'll call it a dynasty. Why can't you? They've won a couple Super Bowls here. They've been to Super Bowls. This is a very good team. In this day and age, I mean, you could say maybe, the Niners are short of a dynasty. They get the championship games, but Super Bowls, come on, man. This is Brady-esque, Patriot-esque. You want to go back to the Cowboys and the Niners and the Steelers kind of era? Chiefs fans, what's there to say? You got a coach who's excelling in the twilight of his career here, winning the games. He's got a quarterback. I don't know. It'll be fun. We'll talk about them more tomorrow and then, of course, Thursday when Doug joins us. But we do have Friday football here, and they're not exactly the most marquee or lovable games on a Friday night, but people love to bet. They love football, and this is why we have BYU and SMU. You think, oh, look at this. This is like a Big 12 game or a old Big 8 or AAC. No. This is the ACC versus the Big 12. ACC,
is it really?
ACC powerhouse SMU, BYU. What do we got? A 11, 12. This was a 13-win open with SMU. Total of 55. The SMU didn't look good in that opening Saturday when everybody got crushed on taking all the favorites there. They redeemed themselves crushing HCU, which is, come on, that's what you're supposed to do. BYU with a little big win themselves. But what are your thoughts on BYU? I thought, BYU coming into the Big 12 last year would be a little competitive. They were close in some games, hung tough in others, got blown out. I don't think SMU is of the level of your Oklahoma's that going to win 56-7. But what do you think here? Do you like the points? I think SMU gets healthy here or not healthy, but pulls on a good outing as opposed to the Nevada game is.
It's for me. It's early in the week. I really like to see how things develop during the week. You have an initial response and instinct, of course. I think 10 is a big number to be laying, but they beat this Houston Christian last week. They had 369 yards on the ground, and I think there are high school teams out there, Bishop Gorman and maybe a few from Texas, that could probably give the Mustangs a little bit better competition than Houston Christian did. They squeaked by Nevada when they were a big favorite opening week, and everybody expected more out of them than that. And BYU's played a basketball school, if you consider the Saluki Southern Illinois basketball school, so it's hard to judge either of these teams. They haven't been up against much competition at all. Yeah. I do have a gut feeling with 41-13 and 29-24 that the game would go over the total. SMU's won 9 of their last 10 straight up, and BYU has only won 3 of their last 10 straight up. But, Sean, the points are the equalizer in this kind of game. And just, how focused is SMU going to be after destroying a nothing team? I really don't like taking teams when they beat, non-competitive game and a big win, and now they're going to come up against someone that may give them a little hassle. And I just don't know how good BYU is because they've been on a slide now for 2 years.
Yeah. So, I look at this one, and you had the SMU versus Nevada in week 1 where they're big favorites, and they probably should have lost a game. Then you had Nevada come out and win their next game on the road. You're like, wow, this is maybe it was a coaching change, and maybe a little better than what they're expected to be. Yeah. But Chip will be looking at the over 55.5 here as the official play. I'm with you with this. I don't like you throw cupcakes in there. How good are you? I think the BYU, again, I'm a point guy. I like to look at the dog, like you said. It's double digits, more than 10. It's 11 and a half, maybe in some spots, where they've been competitive early in the season, maybe because you're healthier, whatever the case may be. But I would lean dog here again. It's the official pick, and that's what matters here, folks. The official picks have been on a great run the last 2 weeks. It is what it is. You watch a show, we've been winning here, so we're going to keep it going with the over 55.5 BYU SMU 7 p.m. Friday night. So there is that. I have Duke and Northwestern. Wow. If this was the academic Olympics, you'd be like, wow, this is going to be a great battle.
Yeah.
On the football field, I think we see more fireworks between the chemistry teams going at it, debate teams, than what we see out of these offenses this week. I mean, Northwestern, you're playing on a lacrosse field, folks. This is like being played on a lacrosse field. And I thought, I'm going to be honest with you, I liked Northwestern, kind of like over the win total here, right? So here they are, small favorite home, 2.5, total of 38, 39. This opened at like 42-ish, by the way, too. So it's come down a little bit here. 13-6 win over Miami, Ohio. And again, my Northwestern me was like, wow, all the adversity last year, they bring an interim head coach, and Braun here got the full-time job. They won a bunch of games. You're thinking, okay, I kind of like they should beat a MAC team. Here comes Duke. They got a new coach. Again, they beat Elon last week, 26-3. What do you get out of that? Should it have been more? It's Elon, but it's also Duke, where the quarterback's gone, and you lose a quarterback at Duke who won 8-9 games. You might have a little bit of a step back offensively. Manny Diaz taken over. This guy's had a little bit of success, maybe less than what he wanted, which is why he's out of Miami and up at Duke here, though. The defense does his thing. Elko was kind of a defensive guy, so defense is stacked here. I really got to look at they have played the last few years, and Duke was putting up like 40 in these games. Totally, you can't really look at that. That doesn't count. Different quarterback and things like that. I'm going to look at the under here, man. First of all, we're looking at 38-39s. It's not an auto play the under, but it's something I really have to zoom in on. Why is it so low, especially in today's football, right? So everything's high scoring, offense driven, penalties on defenses. They want to get these scores up. The fact that this has come down by 4 points leads me to believe that, one, Duke is going to do what Duke does. Defense first, grind it out here. They got a running back, I think it's from Mississippi or somewhere. So they're going to try to play the ball control, just grind out as a win. And Northwestern, what do we got out of these guys? When's the last time? Have they ever been explosive offense? They're always hi, here's our lunch pail. We're coming to the game. Let's see how we do here. They haven't. Yeah. I mean, this isn't like when Fitzgerald took over and they were putting up like 44 in a game. It was like a random year. That's not what this team is. This game screams to me like a 17-13 kind of thing. I like 3-0 end of the first quarter. Like, I think this is going to be like an ugly turn the clock back game. So for me, official video pick here, I'm going to go under the 39 points at the lacrosse field. At the lacrosse. This is as bad as Vanderbilt, like we're doing in Hawaii, playing like high school stadiums. Look, the Big Ten playing in a lacrosse field. Wow.
Well, I think you have an ACC and a Big Ten team playing each other, and we know that the ACC just doesn't measure up. And my instinct would be to take Northwestern. Duke losing their quarterback, go into Notre Dame. Duke losing their coach. my instinct when you play against them, Sean, the thing that bothers me about it is you have a home team giving less than a field goal.
Yeah.
And, that always raises a flag in my mind but I just don't know how good Duke is. The attrition, how bad it really hurt them playing Elon. It's really tough to get any kind of gauge off of that, really. So
I'm with you. I mean, these two games, they're Friday. We got to cover them. I know people in the chat want to hear them because they just got to bet them. Folks, these are our free picks for the show.
Right.
You hear our analysis. It's kind of, again, it's a Tuesday morning. We're going over these. Do I really love these games? I don't really love these games. I tell you, some days you really love, right, Chip? There's games where like, I absolutely love this game, and we could talk for 45 minutes going back and forth. We talk about
Right.
Games like this, listen, they're on the board. We got to talk about them. Not that interesting. We'll have some interesting stuff coming up. We got some better matchups coming up on the Thursday show, but this one here, not so much.
Sean, it could develop into an interesting game if it was later in the season and we had a little history or some, we had something to measure it by. But right now it's up in the air. It's a Tuesday, and like I said, second week of the season. We got to go leash a little bit at the beginning of the year. I do anyway. I didn't put out a mega buck play this past weekend. I had a best bet with UNLV, but I didn't put out the top rated play yet. And,
at least with week 0. You had Georgia Tech and Florida State. Like, you had a ranked team. They're going to be unranked now after going on 2.
Right.
But you had some. You had SMU, who there was like some hype on their quarterback to be like a Heisman kind of guy. Impressive. Like, there was some excitement about a early kind of game. These random Friday games right now, these are just no excitement on this one. For me, I feel sorry if you're an SMU, BYU, Duke, Northwestern fan. You're pumped up. You got a primetime spot. You'll be on TV. I'll
tell you, Sean, those Friday night games sometimes bother me because I'm so, revved up for Saturday. Everything's the whole clue in the college is the Saturday. And I hate to start a half game behind or a game behind if you don't make it on a Friday. I'd rather just wait. But if the play is there, we're going to make it,
No, I agree. You don't have to run, like you said, you don't have to run out and do these games for no particular reason because it's on a Friday night, right? It's okay, it's Friday, but do you really want to?
And Sean, we're right in the thick of the pennant races right now, and there's a lot of big baseball games each and every day that are factors in the race, and so I'm still playing that pretty strongly, and so you don't have to necessarily play the football if there's another opportunity. Like we said, like I used to say, it was the A play, the single strongest play. It didn't matter what sport it is, Sean. You want to take your best shot, and that's how I sort of feel about it. And Fridays, I think you have to look at it with a little skepticism because maybe they're just setting you up for the Saturday afternoon.
Do you, speaking of like baseball, anything sticking on baseball today? Like you said, we saw some.
My first thought was that I will do anything possible to play against Steve Matz, and he's pitching for St. Louis today. And
is he really? Where's he coming from? Off the injury list, Matz?
I don't know. He's got a 6.1 ERA and like 4 starts for the year. Sean, it's hard for me to believe that Milwaukee they had the best. Their record. Where's it coming from? They're playing so well, and they've won 7 of the last 10.
They're 2 games back of the Dodgers for best record in baseball.
Right? Yeah. That's what I mean. I looked at it and went, where's it come from?
Tampa Bay traded Aaron Savali. I'm like, Savali's really going to move the needle for this team. Like, Burns is having a nice season for the O's. No Woodruff. Yeah. Peralta's kind of having a so-so season. Ray's having a nice year. They started Dallas Keuchel for a game. Yet here they are in first place.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do it. Talk about a smoke and mirrors team. And Yelich is gone. He's gone for the year.
Yep. That's what I mean. When I saw the lineup, I was so surprised when I saw that. You're looking at it every day, and sometimes you don't notice it, and all of a sudden they're 26 games over 500.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I thought the Cubs would win this division. I was like, I like the Cubs pitching staff, right? Steele's good. I didn't know we were going to get on Amana, but Assad's solid, and yet, maybe they go on a run here to maybe make a wild card. But yeah, Milwaukee here, Savali is a 140, 145 favor versus Matz, who hasn't pitched since April. It hasn't been good since April of probably 2016.
He hasn't been good since 2014. I love playing against this guy. I love playing against Matz. I really do, because I think he's so hittable.
with all these matchups today, there's really not a playoff kind of matchup between two teams. And that's a lie. We got Guardians and Royals, which is, two teams battling for actually a division.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's like the Mariners have all but probably peed away their chances with their lack of offense. Right. I mean, the Braves are huge faves over the Rockies today. I mean, Yankees ran. I mean, there's not many to run to like, hey, this is some great matchups. Where, on the weekend, you got Yankees Cubs, which would be all right. Where else are we going here? Mariners Cardinals, I guess, is sort of a battle. Twins Royals would be a nice weekend series. Diamondbacks Stros would be a nice weekend series.
Diamondbacks are they're my dark horse right now. I think they want to show people that it wasn't a fluke last year, and they've come on strong since the All-Star game. I think they have the best record in baseball since then.
You have any today? This week in baseball? Sure. Gary Michael Sports Machine. I saw yesterday on Twitter. I tweeted out like it was the 40th anniversary of the Gary Michael? Was this something Michael Sports Machine? Remember the Sports Machine on Sunday?
Yeah.
So it was like 40 years since the premiere. I'm like, I remember that show.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been more than that since Ty Cobb got his final hit. And it was September 3rd, 1928, 4,189, which was later broken by Petey Boy Baseball Rose. 1932 is interesting because Jimmy Foxx hit 2 homers, his 50 and 51st. And he joined Hack Wilson as Babe Ruth as the only 2 major leaguers that had hit 50. You remember, this is 1932. Baseball was still young at the time. A number of years later, the Yankees took it out on the Red Sox. They won a game. They had 18 hits, all singles. The first time that's ever happened, most singles in a game with no extra base hits. 1957, Warren Spahn pitched his 41st shutout. I mean, people won't even
of the season, probably of the season.
Yeah, and Hank Aaron, by the way, in 1972, totaled 6,135 total bases. And one of my favorites in 1977, Sadaharu Oh, who I saw in Japan the year before, hit his 756th home run to pass Barry Bonds.
Sadaharu Oh. Actually makes it into, you know what? He makes it into a Beastie Boys song, by the way.
He was a big hero, and he was a big home run hitter in Japan. He has all kinds of records, but he wasn't very well liked because his mother was Chinese. And believe me, they still have ill feelings, the Chinese and the Japanese. And the guy hit 760 homers, and they didn't care. They didn't care. Anyone else was their hero, But he was a great player, Sadaharu.
I believe the lyric is, "I got more hits than Sarah Arrow." That was the line. Beastie Boys. If you know the song, that's your comment. I mean, I know you and Jim are probably.
Well, if you count the Little League hits and the Babe Ruth League hits, maybe.
I wanna put a picture up here that you sent me. I just don't want your phone number to come across it. I don't know how to get it. So it'll be like.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chipper sent me the Han Solo and Carbonite. I know it's on an angle because you see the ring light in the picture.
Right.
But like it's the Han Solo and Carbonite. Because we were talking, and I'm like, listen, I keep a little Luke Skywalker original. He's dirty because he's from 1978. So Chipper sent me this the other day. I'm like, it's classic with the Han Solo.
I walked in. It's a little ice cream shop, and they have all kinds of Star Wars memorabilia. I mean, all kinds of stuff, and it's sort of like going to the Wayback Machine with Professors Peabody and Moose and Squirrel. Sorry,
that's way further back than my Beastie Boys line, and even the Han Solo from Empire Strikes Back, which I believe was like 1980. But, all right, listen. Me and you tomorrow, we're doing some NFL. Cardinals, Bills for you. I got the Cowboys and the Browns. A triple header Thursday. Me, you, and Doug. Texas, Michigan. Again, little better matchup than BYU, SMU. Texas, Michigan. I'm doing the Primes versus Nebraska, Colorado, Nebraska. Doug will be doing Iowa State, Iowa. A classic barn burner there. Do we just alternate under 26 there for plus money or something? I don't even know. That's what's coming up Wednesday, Thursday here with some NFL and some ranked college football, a little better games for you. The live show on Friday with Mark Lawrence and Victor King, which we're 4-2 on. Not too bad on the live show, plus your comments. Listen, the show picks today, we're going over 55.5 for Chip on SMU. I'm going under the Duke Northwestern 39. We want you to go to gamblersworld.net, check out the premium stuff. But you got a free pick contest going here, folks. Free money, as they say, right? You always see the free money. Go get involved in the contest. You don't want to miss out on that. gamblersworld.net. Me, Chip, 11 other top cappers for you to choose from. There is baseball, as Chip just mentioned, college football, NFL official kickoff Thursday night, $5.99 early bird. Go get it. I think I've covered it all for my man, Chip Chirimbes, Han Solo, in our hearts, hanging. And me, Sean Higgs, Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Wrap it up here on a Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Good luck, everybody.